Toronto, where a Delta Airlines flight arriving from Minneapolis has crashed on landing.
2025 took a banging start, quite literally, and for many reasons. And recently, with planes crashing all over the world. It looks like this year is going to get even weirder. Tune in to see what's actually behind this mystery. You must remember how we discussed the claimed wildfires in LA fires in one of our previous videos.
Yeah, as Los Angeles battles one of its worst fires in all of its history.
And how planes dropping fire retardant were reportedly struck by drones, forcing them to land and delaying crucial firefighting efforts. The appearance of drones in active fire zones has raised suspicions, with some believing it could be a deliberate attempt to disrupt containment. This might feel like a move to keep the fires going, but what's happening recently will leave you shocked. On January 29th, 2025, a tragic mid-air collision over the Potomac River near Washington, D.C. took place, when an American Eagle passenger plane and a U.S. Army helicopter collided and crashed into the river. The accident happened as the plane approached Reagan National Airport, and the helicopter was conducting a training exercise. Both aircraft went down in the river, making rescue efforts difficult due to freezing temperatures and strong currents.
Military helicopter collided in midair with a passenger jet as the plane was trying to land at Reagan National Airport in Washington, D.C.
The incident was the most destructive U.S. aviation incident since 2001, claiming 67 lives. All major wreckage has been recovered, and investigators are looking into possible air traffic control issues and whether the helicopter was flying too high.
Was this accident preventable? The answer is probably. There are several layers of security rings around Washington, D.C. ever since 9/11, and that accident happened within a couple miles of Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport, which is inside what's called the flight restricted zone.
But after recent developments, it looks like there's more to the incident than it seems. Many people online claimed that it looked like the helicopter flew directly into the plane, and to be honest, it does look like that. When experts looked into the helicopter's path, another disturbing detail was revealed. Turns out the helicopter tried to collide with 3 other planes before it collided with the American Airlines flight. And just 24 hours before the collision, another American flight had to abort landing due to a helicopter crossing its flight path at the same airport. Have a look. The question is, what is the helicopter flying this close to the plane near the airport? This pretty much clears out how this crash was more intentional than it was an accident. Unfortunately, this doesn't end here. There's been crashes and airline mishaps one after another. And when I asked ChatGPT about it, this is the list it gave me. We're just 1 month into 2025, and there's been way too many of these. Let's take a look at them and see if these were actually accidents or something else. Another tragic accident occurred on January 31st, 2025 in Philadelphia, when a Learjet 55 medical transport plane crashed shortly after takeoff from Northeast Philadelphia Airport. The aircraft, ambulance, was off to Tijuana, Mexico.
Holy cow.
At the altitude of approximately 1,500 feet, the plane descended rapidly and crashed near Roosevelt Mall. The impact caused a significant explosion, igniting multiple homes and vehicles. Investigators have recovered the aircraft's black box, which was found buried 8 feet underground at the crash site. The cause of the crash remains unknown, as authorities analyze flight data and other evidence to determine what led to this devastating incident. When air traffic control audio from the plane was released, people found something strange. Have a look yourself. Who is the traffic controller talking about? Who messed with who? Does that mean this crash was also pre-planned? These strange revelations have left people to wonder what's the actual cause behind these crashes. When a news reporter interviewed this local on the site of the incident, he called it a rocket more than once, while explaining what he saw.
I thought it was a rocket coming in. is this coming to me? And I would shake my eyes, like boom, and then I see explosion like mushrooms.
Could it be that the plane was hit by some rocket, causing it to crash? We've already seen how the air traffic controller threatened on audio. Guess we can only wait for the truth to be revealed. Another plane incident happened on February 6th, 2025.
After a deadly plane crash in Alaska, the aircraft disappearing from radar.
When a plane carrying 9 passengers and a pilot suddenly vanished over the icy waters of Alaska. About 40 minutes into the flight, the plane suddenly lost altitude and speed, disappearing from radar without any distress call. And the next thing you know, the plane's wreckage was found on drifting sea ice, with all 10 on board tragically lost. But the eerie circumstances of the crash have sparked wild theories. Some claim the plane was brought down by a mysterious force, or maybe the traffic controllers knowingly cut off the communication. Although the truth behind the incident is unknown for now, it's clear there's definitely a mystery waiting to be revealed. There seems to be a pattern behind these crashes. You might remember the plane crash that happened in Brazil.
Now to the plane crash in Brazil that killed 62 people.
Where all 62 people on board perished, including 8 cancer doctors. A famous theory claimed that those doctors had found a cure to cancer and were off to a conference. But again, they accidentally suffered in the crash. Yeah, that sounds convincing. And these aren't even half of it.
We can't make this up. Just had to evacuate the plane.
Passengers and crew aboard this United Airlines flight were evacuated right onto the runway due to some issues in the engine. Can you imagine looking out your flight window and seeing this? This was another United Airlines flight whose engine blew up when the people were still inside.
Come on, all that long. Please remain seated until further.
I don't even want to imagine what would have happened if this happened a little later. Less than a week ago, a Japan Airlines jet sliced the tail of another plane in another frightening collision at Seattle Airport. And mind you, both aircrafts were filled with passengers. You can't tell me these one after the other accidents don't seem suspicious. Here, 2 jets collided on the runway at Scottsdale Airport in Arizona, claiming 1 life.
Today, at approximately 14:39, mid-size business jet collide with another mid-size business jet.
And again, no one knows why that happened. Another plane crash near the Santa Barbara Highway, and this American Airlines Boeing flight had to abort takeoff as one of its tires exploded right on the runway. This one was one heck of a tragedy. This happened when a small plane crashed into a bus on a busy Sao Paulo avenue in Brazil. South Korea? The tech hub was also not safe from this crash curse. A Jeju air flight carrying 181 people not just crashed, it exploded and caused the life of almost everyone on board. The authorities said the crash was due to bird strike and bad weather, but I think we all know at this point what could be the real reason. This plane crash happened in the Philippines, and this one caused the life of a Long Beach Marine, Kedong Ranch, Naivasha, Kenya. A private jet in El Hatillo, Venezuela. Crash in South Sudan. This was a business jet that overshot the runway and burst into flames while landing at Ubatuba Airport in Brazil. Now let's take a deeper dive into what could be causing these crashes and why no one's taking stricter actions to control this. Remember when back in 2020, the Pentagon released the UFO footage recorded by the Navy pilots, the tic-tac shaped object that was captured moving in unbelievable ways. And these clips are resurfacing as people think these UFOs might be the reason behind airline malfunctions and crashes. Maybe the UFOs use our airspace and strike down any craft that comes in their way. Remember the recent spike in orbs and UFO sightings?
There are millions and millions of people that want to go there, that want to see it. I won't talk to you about what I know about it, but it's very interesting.
Oh my God. These are retrieving non-human origin technical vehicles. Call it spacecraft if you will.
right? Because in at least one of the materials, the isotope ratios of, in this case, it was magnesium, are way off normal.
It could be that our government is in on this charade and has rented out our skies for these malicious activities, not caring about the flights and its passengers. Folks are even saying that the national security threat was just a pretense to ban TikTok. The real reason was that people were using that app to spread awareness about these suspicious activities and exposing the government's incompetence to resolve these issues. There's also this theory that these crashes might be related to air traffic control staff. Seeing all this news.
Of silence for the victims and their families, please.
I can't decide if this is plain disregard for human life or something or someone out of this world is behind this. But people also think that the LA wildfires and crashes might be related to each other. That all this is a ploy to distract the public from something far bigger.
The governor says he can't get a straight answer out of anybody.
Otherwise, why is there suddenly so much chaos and unexplained incidents? Now, to make things even creepier, a clip has been going around online where a woman seemed to have predicted these aviation incidents before they even started.
And in the dreams, I see tech disruptions with the airline industry happening in the last 2 weeks of January.
You might think that this was just a coincidence, but the clip was posted on January 11th, and the woman clearly stated the dates and what will happen.
If you can avoid taking flights until between, let's say, January 23rd is popping into my head, and the end of the month, then life might be easier for you.
There's another clip that many people think could be the reason behind these sudden crashes. A flight passenger caught a clip of these humanoid figures standing on the clouds, and this has led many to think maybe the passengers in the crashed plane saw something they weren't supposed to and ended up like this. Although it's just a theory, many think this could be plausible, as these reckless authorities would do anything to control the narrative. I've stated all known facts, and now it's up to you whether you still think of these incidents as a mere coincidence, or take them as they are, part of something far bigger. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments about this.